Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Mike here from ONT Games, and today I want to talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw last night, or just the one part of the show that I think a lot of people are still buzzing from. So, earlier in the night, before the final segment on the show, Kurt Angle tells Big Cass and Enzo Amore he's going to figure out who's been behind these mystery attacks by the end of the night. So, for those of you who are unaware, over the past few weeks, Cass and Enzo have been attacked by someone or someone's backstage. The suspects include The Revival as well as Big Show. So, in the final segment of Raw, Kurt Angle calls everybody down to the ring: Cass, Enzo, Dawson, Dash, and the Big Show. And he starts to question everybody. He starts off with questioning Show. And with this, Big Show is kind of offended. He says that him and Kurt have gone way back, they've known each other for a long time, and he doesn't appreciate being accused like this. And he says he's not sure that he wants to wrestle on a show that Kurt Angle is operating, and he storms off. So, that could be a storyline of its own. I guess we'll have to figure that out. The Revival then begin to plead their case. They say there's nothing left to say, their alibis are solid, and Kurt agrees with them. He says that the Revival, it wasn't them. So, it looks like all hope is lost. Kurt says he will continue his search when Corey Graves intervenes. Graves has been involved in this story over its entirety, and basically he questions Cass. He says that the WWE medical staff did not check on Cass when he got a supposed lump on his head last week, I believe. Now Cass quickly comes back and says that the local EMTs in the arena checked him out, which makes sense, I guess, but WWE, you usually go through your own medical staff, so Corey kind of finds this a little weird. Anyway, he says he doesn't know exactly what happened to Enzo over the past weeks, or what happened to Cass 2 weeks ago, but he does know what happened last week. And he proceeds to show security footage of Cass staging the attack. So, the big reveal: Big Cass was the attacker. Now Enzo is kind of questioning, like, oh no, it wasn't you. Cass is just giving him a straight face. You're damn right I didn't. The words out of Cass's mouth, so the cat's out of the bag. Yes, it was Big Cass. Basically, he begins to run down Enzo, saying that, Enzo ran his mouth about God knows what all the time. Says he's wanted to slap him upside the head, knock him out himself, and says he didn't do it because he felt bad for Enzo because everyone backstage didn't like him. He put up with this crap for years. Cass said he just finally snapped, and it felt good. And he said he would have snapped Enzo's neck because he could have, but he didn't because he wanted to watch Enzo suffer. And he basically said that, when it looked like Cass was the attacker, he kind of cooled the flames, so to speak, if that makes sense. I don't know, something about fire. But basically he tried to diverge the attention off himself because he wanted to see if Enzo could figure it out. And when Enzo couldn't, Cass came to the conclusion that Enzo is dumber than he looks. Says that Enzo was dead weight, holding him back from reaching his potential. Says Enzo's the reason he's never been a champion in the WWE. And the final blow: says Enzo's mouth writes checks that his ass can't cash. Says that the team's through, hits him with the big boot, and the show ends. Wow. So Enzo and Cass are finished. It's weird to me to think that, but it's true. It's reality. So where do we go from here? Well, I would say I was kind of hoping Big Show would continue to be involved, because I would love to see Cass and Big Show go one-on-one. However, with Show saying he doesn't want to work for Kurt Angle anymore, or might not want to work for Kurt Angle, maybe we'll see Big Show head over to SmackDown. Maybe he'll continue to take a hiatus. I have no idea. But that, again, could be its own storyline, so that's kind of interesting. Maybe some development there, but, maybe he could have faced Cass on behalf of Enzo. I don't know how realistic that possibility could have been, because during the segment last night, he called both Cass and Enzo soft. So, an alliance between the two is probably not likely, but you never know. Maybe Show will come around to it, or Enzo will forgive him. I don't know, whatever. But that could potentially happen. Maybe we see Big Show side with Enzo, because, he looks to Cass and say, well, pick on someone on your own side. Something like that, something like that. I gotta think the most obvious choice, though, is a match at Great Balls of Fire. Big Cass and Enzo Amore. Cass seems like a very heavy favorite, and a win for him will definitely kickstart a very good push. Now, I don't know about him going directly for the world title. He has competed for it, technically, last year in that Fatal 4-Way for the Universal title when it was vacant. but maybe going for something like the IC title. Hopefully, Miz and Ambrose. It's been a pretty good feud, but that could be over pretty soon. Maybe after Great Balls of Fire. So maybe Cass steps in as the next challenger for the Miz, or maybe Ambrose wins. I don't really know what's gonna happen, but I'd love to see Cass holding the IC title. I think that'd be great. And eventually from there, move on to that main event picture. He's a good wrestler. He's very fun in the ring to watch, and he's entertaining on his own. He's not as good as a talker as Enzo, but I don't think anybody really is. And I think a lot of people also see that he could really become, a future main event player in WWE. And the fact that they had that segment close the show and had Cass standing tall on his own at the end of the show, I think it shows that the company has high hopes for him in the future. As for Enzo Amore, I really don't know where he's going to end up. Don't get me wrong, Enzo is entertaining as hell, but his in-ring capabilities hold him down. So I don't know how far he's going to make it on his own. Maybe he'll begin teaming with somebody else, but before that, I think they really need to establish him, if they want to establish him rather, have him have some sort of singles feud, a short one. I don't know against who, but somebody on the main roster, on the Raw roster rather, who could challenge Enzo and, maybe have Enzo prevail. That'd be pretty interesting. Maybe he'll become a manager. I don't really know. Like I said, his character is really his focal point. It's unlike no other. He is very unique. One of the most unique characters in the history of WWE. But his in-ring work, needs work. So I hope he can improve. And maybe we'll see him as a champion one day. Maybe not a world champion, but, maybe a tag team champion. Maybe he'll finally win a tag team title or something on his own. The one thing is really a shame for me is that I think this breakup was inevitable. But we never got to see them win a tag team title, not on Raw. And I think a lot of people thought at WrestleMania, I was one of those people, that was their moment to win the titles. Of course, the Hardys came back and, well, they stole the show, so that was great for them. But it's a shame we never got to see them win a title here on the main roster or in NXT. They were an NXT Tag Team of the Year one year, but they never got to hold the belts. So I think a lot of people, including myself, would have really liked to have seen that. For now, I guess we're just going to have to keep tuning into Raw every week and check out Great Balls of Fire and see how everything develops. This remains a very hot topic on Raw, and to put it in the most simple terms, one of the most popular teams in the WWE has just broken up. It's a shame, but I'm excited to see where this goes. Now, for now, this feud, it's going to remain a pretty hot topic on Raw. One of the most popular teams in WWE has just broken up, and I'm very excited. I think a lot of people are excited to see where this goes. What's going to happen with Cass? What's going to happen with Enzo? Big Show somehow involved? I don't really know. But I'm very intrigued by this. Good luck to both these men in their singles careers. I'm really pulling for both of them. And let's see what happens in the next few weeks, and I'd love to see a match at Great Balls of Fire. Thank you so much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. I just have some WWE 2K17 gameplay in the background. The computer's doing it, so you don't want to see me play. Not very good. No, I'm pretty good. I'll play some eventually. Voice crack. I'll play some eventually. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.